बंदा मेरे
अरे
घर पर
भाई।
फोन ना कर दे वीडियो मांगने के
अरे
लिए,
भाई।
क्योंकि मेरे पास कोई अपना फोन नहीं है। तो मैं तो 20 पर घर आते ही किसी अननोन पर्सन ने मुझे फोन करा वीडियो मांगने के लिए। तो मैंने देखा कि मैं एक ग्रुप में ऐड
हेलो
था
हेलो हेलो हेलो
जिसका नाम
हेलो
था
हेलो
पुलिस
हेलो
वीडियो।
हेलो हेलो
मुझे
हेलो
लगा कि वो कोई पुलिस स्कैम ग्रुप होगा, बट उसमें मेंबर्स एक तो आईआईटीएन था और वो
हेलो
बंदा था
हेलो हेलो हेलो
जिसने
हेलो।
मुझे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले फोन करा था, और एक और अननोन पर्सन था।
Yup,
मेरी
we
मम्मी
are
कह रही थी
back,
कि कौन सा
guys. We
ग्रुप
are
है ये,
back
और मैंने बोला कि ऐसे ही
again.
फ्रॉड वगैरह है, और मैंने उसे आर्चीव कर दिया।
So today,
वो बंदा 1 घंटे में
I
वीडियो
was
डिलीट
looking
हुई,
at the 10
मेरा
stack
सॉफ्टवेयर 6 घंटे
talks
से
and
ज्यादा दिखा रहा था। तो इसे सॉल्व करने के लिए मेरी एक
so
ट्रिक है, और वो ये।
10 stack just use React query, React query in the backend. All right. So now we are gonna see how it works. All right. So the React query just replace the use state. I mean some of the state hooks and some.
नॉर्मल कोई एडिटर सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं है यूबुंटू के लिए?
नॉर्मल नहीं भाई, सब हार्ड है। आ,
काइंड मास्टर जैसा?
पता नहीं भाई, काइंड मास्टर को ऐप है भाई। So all right, so I'm working
काइंड
on a
मास्टर
project.
बढ़िया है
I'm
भाई।
working on an assessment, and which is basically a blog writing website. All right. So
फ्री
this,
ऑनलाइन वीडियो एडिटर बोल तो रहा विंडोज के लिए कोई
अरे
है?
भाई ये तो कर रहा था तुम इसमें।
अरे तो
So
ये
now
यूबुंटू पे कर रहा भाई हम।
the stack which we are using
तो
is
दादा
packages one. Right. I think we need to switch. I think we need to switch the ID. All right. Kai blocks. That's it.
अब इसमें अपलोड होने में टाइम लगेगा,
JMX. Yep.
डाउनलोड होने में भी टाइम लगेगा।
Yep.
फिर तो ऑफलाइन ही कर लेते हैं।
Okay. So the stack we're using is database, Superbase for state management, 10 stack, and the client states for 10 stack. And we are also using the TRPC for the backend, like for the API calls. And we are using Drizzle ORM instead of instead of क्या बोलते हैं,
इक्वल
Prisma.
सर, बिग फैन।
कौन है भाई? क्रिएटिव कार्टून क्लच कौन है भाई?
शाउट आउट दे दो क्रिएटिव
साउट आउट दे दिया
कार्टून
हम, हाँ।
क्लब।
है कौन लेकिन? Alright, so and we're also using the Superbase for the Postgres. Alright, and we're also using the Justant for the global state management. Alright, and for Jod for the inference.
ये
अबे
साला
सार,
शांतनु है।
समझ गया भाई, पकड़ लिया तेरे को मैंने, पकड़ लिया।
सर क्या नाम था इनका?
हाँ, असमिस मेरे को भी आता भाई।
जो बच्चों थी।
आजा भाई, डिस्कॉर्ड पे आ, डिस्कॉर्ड पे आजा। कॉल मत करना मेरे को इस पे, इसका राहुल को कॉल कर।
शांतनु है भी अभी।
शांतनु ही है वे ये।
हाँ, एनीमे एनीमे देखता हूँ, पता नहीं
हाँ।
क्या। सर मुझे भी सिखा दो। नो।
चल भाई, आगे बढ़ते हैं, ठीक है। Alright, so we are learning 10 stack here. कहाँ स्टार्ट कर दे भाई? Hmm, कैसा है इसका डिस्क, कैसा है इसका गिटअप, कैसा? अम, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे पहले अपन होम पे जाते हैं, ठीक है। सो ओके, 10 stack query प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है ठीक है। इससे बड़ा डॉक्स पे अपन गए, यहीं से सब डॉक्स है। ओके, सो मोटिवेशन।
लाइट चल गया।
बड़ा बड़ा खराब होगा भाई। ओके, सो ये जो विंटर होप है, ये मेरा मॉड है भाई, इससे तुम बात कर लो। टेंस टेक क्वेरी फॉर्मली नोन फॉर्मली क्या है भाई ये क्या है ये फॉर्मली पढ़ते हैं ना रे- तू भी गलत पढ़ा रहा साले
फॉर्म
तू भी गलत पढ़ा साले
अबे फॉर्मली होता है।
अबे लवड़े तू उसको बंद करना है उसको क्या बोलते हैं नहीं नहीं उसको तो साउंड अलग वो करना तो मतलब वो साउंड वो करना वरना मतलब कम कर दे साउंड alright now it so word does is often described as the missing data formally I मतलब पहले बोलते थे इसको रिएक्ट करिए मतलब I got the idea ठीक है is often described as the missing data fetching library for web application. But in more technical terms, it makes fetching, catching, and synchronization and updating the server state in the web application a breach. All right, got it. What is the motivation? Most core web frameworks do not come with the opinionated क्या है भाई ये opinionated way to fetching or uploading data in a holistic way. Yeah, that's a React way. Because of this, developer end up building either meta frameworks which encapsulate strict opinions about the data fetching, or they invent their own ways to fetching data. This usually means clubbing together component-based state and side effects, or using more general purpose state management libraries to store and provide asynchronous data throughout their app. Okay, correct. Now, while most traditional state management libraries are great for working with the client state, and they are not so great at working at async server side. Yep. And this is because state is totally different. For starters, server state. So server state is persisted remotely in the location you may not control your own. बकचोदी स्टार्ट हो गया ना तू मारने आ जाएगा भाई लोकेशन खोज के
लोकेशन डिलीट कर लोकेशन
लोकेशन डिलीट नहीं होगा भाई अभी चल गया सेव कर लिया होगा अभी वो चल ठीक है यहाँ पर रिक्वायर्स क्या बोला यहाँ पर सर्वर स्टेट इट persisted remotely in the location you may not control your own
समझ गया वो चढ़ गई वही है
हाँ देखा भाई पकड़ लिया ना
ये वही है
पकड़ लिया ना भाई तुमको
ऊपर समझ गया
Santanu don't play with us bro Santanu do you want to see our setup requires asynchronous API for fetching and updating
छोड़ दो सार
क्या बोला server state is persisted remotely in the location you may not control your own requires asynchronous API for fetching and uploading requires
यस सर
asynchronous
यस
API ना भाई उसके लिए अभी सब्सक्राइबर बढ़ाना पड़ेगा अभी 15 की करो फिर हम करेंगे
सर
है कि नहीं भाई ऐसा नहीं भाई पहले दिखा फिर किरकिरी हो जाएगा मजा नहीं आएगा फिर
सही बात
ये सीटी है कॉल टू एक्शन है भाई ये शांतु ठंडा लगा कि नहीं तेरे को भाई ठंडा स्टार्ट हो गया इधर भाई बहुत ठंडा है इधर ओके रिक्वायर्स asynchronous APIs to amplifies shared ownership and can be changed by other people without our knowledge can order ठीक है okay so once you grasp the nature of server state in your application
सेगमेंट टू माय वेलकम
even more challenges will arise as you go for example catching possible the hardest thing yup yup and deducting multiple requests for the same data in the single request and updating out update data in background knowing when data is out of date and reflecting updates to data quickly as possible performance optimization like pagination lazy loading data managing memory and garbage collection on server side memorizing क्या कर रहा है अरे रुक गया अरे मैं रुक गया कैमरा रुक गया मेरा क्या हो गया पता नहीं भाई व्हाट द हैक अबे व्हाट्सएप पे कॉल किया होगा पता है साला ये
अंदरू
हाँ नहीं 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 व्हाट्सएप पे तो कॉल नहीं किया भाई। हो क्या ये, इसलिए फ्लाइट मोड पर डाल दिया था साला इसको।
क्या कर रहा है?
इसको अपन ऑफ ही कर देना।
ऑफ होता है क्या? डेटा?
मोबाइल डेटा नहीं, यहाँ से कौन सा पता है। तो ऑफ हो गया। ये क्या हो गया, स्टॉप कनेक्ट।
क्यों याद है उसकी?
चूतिया कर दे भाई, पागल है क्या। यार ऑन तो कर दो, फिर आऊंगा भाई। क्यों देख रहा है भाई, मैं दीवार दिखा गया। अरे 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 अरे, सेटअप छुपाओ, सेटअप छुपाओ। थोड़ा सा भी लीक हो जा रहा है भाई, डेटा लीक हो जा रहा है थोड़ा।
पैकेट्स में ना।
पैकेट्स में।
चल हटा।
All right, so if you are not overwhelmed by the list, mhm, then that must mean that you are probably solved all the server side problem and already deserved an award. Oh, dang, 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 dang. Then it must mean you have probably solved all of your server state problems and already and deserved an award. Okay. However, if you are like a vast majority of people and you either have a select up tackled almost of the challenges and you are only sketching a surface, TanStacker is a hands down one of the best libraries for machine managing the server state. It works amazingly well out of the box and with zero config and can customize to your liking as the application grows. Okay. TanStacker allows you to defeat the overcome tracking challenge and hurdles of server state and control your app data before it starts to control you. Yep. Now, on the more technical notes, Stan Stack Query will likely help you remove many lines of complicated and misunderstood code from your application and replace just handful of lines Stan Stack. And by the way, the states which you make in use state just suck and just uh, like it grows with the application as we grow, the state and grows, and if we like wanna keep it in the object, then object start grows. Okay. Now make your application more maintainable and easier to build new feature without worrying about writing up new servers state data structure. Have a direct impact on your end-to-end user by making the application user faster and more responsive than ever. Potentially help you save on bandwidth and increase memory performance. Take a talk. Show me some code already, yo. In the example below you can see 10 stack query is the most basic and simple form used by fetch the GitHub stats on the 10 stack query GitHub. Okay, so what are we doing? We have the query client and query client provider and the use query from the SDK React query from the 10 stack React query. Okay, and then we are initializing the query by query client with new. All right, and what are we doing, what are we doing, what are we doing, what are we doing? We are putting this query client in the client provider and the app is under, like app is inside the query client provider. Okay, okay, and here's the example. We can, what do we do, what do we do? We are using use query to get the data as is pending error and data itself. Okay, so we are catching the data in this key repo data. Okay, and the query function is fetch. Okay, so we are using the uh, fetch fetch function API okay, then okay, okay. So if its pending is loading, then okay, all right. That's cool. That's cool. Super cool. Okay, I'm learning. You talk me into it, and so now what? Consider taking intense tech query course or buying whole team. Oh my god. Consider taking official 10 tech course or buying it to your whole team. Okay. Now learn 10 stack query at your own place in the okay, great, great, great. What's the space for? I don't know. The overview. We are skipping the part of installation. Go to the quick start. Okay, so we should learn the quick start first. Okay. Now, the code snippet is very plain. Stated the three core concept of React query. First is query, mutation, query, invalidation. Okay, three things: queries, mutation, and query invalidation. Okay. So as far as I know, when I'm reading the TRPC docs, so I got the queries by which we can like normally use the fetch function inside it, and we can store the variables like data and the loading states from it. And the mutation is used to like update the like when we want to update the data or in the server action or in the server, then we use mutation.
इसको लेफ्ट देगी राइट देगी, इसका शकल देख के ना भाई, देख लड़की लोगों को ना शकल बहुत ये रहता है, तो पक्का इसको लेफ्ट देगी, हम देखे नहीं वीडियो।
I don't know, bro.
तो गिव योर सजेशंस
अरे
मैन।
बावड़ी मत हो भाई, रुक.
तेरा पिक
Query
ऐड फोन
invalidation,
नहीं
ठीक
कर
है.
रहा।
Query invalidation, ठीक है. Query invalidation.
क्विक
Okay, so query invalidation, I don't know. If you're looking for fully functioning example, please have a look for sample stack bleached example. So we have use query, we have
बैकग्राउंड सुनने
this
में थोड़ा
mutation,
थोड़ा वीक लग रहा
this query client, then query client provider. Uh, क्या रे भाई? डिस्कॉर्ड पे
है। अबे मुट्ठी मार रहा है क्या है?
तेरा आवाज नहीं आ रहा भाई, आवाज नहीं आ रहा. कटे भाई, आवाज नहीं आ रहा तेरा.
अब इतना चिल्ला का बोल रहा है, फिर भी नहीं आ रहा।
कहाँ पे तेरा कनेक्टेड है?
कहीं पे नहीं। हाँ हाँ बोल ना।
बोलो भाई.
भाई एक आइसक्रीम पे भाई ऑटोग्राफ है भाई।
कौन है भाई? सब मिल के देख रहा है तुम लोग? थोड़ा सब्सक्राइब कर दो भाई, सब्सक्राइब कर दो भाई.
क्या? ठीक है शांत रहूं, ये सब हम लोग कट करते हैं लाइव स्ट्रीम के बीच में।
क्या कर रहा दिखा देगा, क्या कर रहा दिखा, एक बार दिखा ना.
अरे ये कौन गांड खुजा रहा?
क्या भाई?
क्यों रे?
गंड
सही है
खजूर,
यार, तो
गंड खजूरे. मोटा क्या कर रहा दिखा, दिखाना क्या कर रहा है, दिखा के बाद दिखा.
अबे वो नहीं।
अबे वो नहीं, स्क्रीन दिखा, स्क्रीन
तू
दिखा,
क्या कर
स्क्रीन.
रहा है? झूठ बोल रहा है स्क्रीन मोड, स्क्रीन मोड मतलब फ्लिप कर कैम। क्या है?
ये मेरे को दिख रहा भाई. भाई आप YouTube स्टार्ट कर दिया भाई, अब तबाही आने वाला भाई. अब पैसा कमाएंगे भाई, अब पैसा कमाएंगे भाई अब.
अब ऑनलाइन कुछ ट्यूशन होगा। अरे
अरे
यार
बैकग्राउंड के लिए अच्छा अच्छा, इसको दिखा, इसको
नहीं
दिखाते रहो ना,
नहीं
इसको वो
नहीं
दिखाते.
ना। अरे
शांतनु भाई, MBBS कैसा लगा, कैसा लग रहा बता. अबे यार ये सब
नहीं
स्ट्रीम
यार
मत बोलो
लाइव
ना भाई, स्ट्रीम में से मत बोलो, रिकॉर्ड हो
चलो
रहा है
भाई
भाई.
रखते हैं। स्ट्रीम म्यूट है क्या?
ना ना, म्यूट नहीं है.
तो म्यूट करना।
भाई तू क्या क्या बोल दे रहा भाई, तू डुबा देगा भाई.
असली है भाई।
All right, we are back again here. So use query, use mutation, use query client. So there are three hooks here. Use query, use mutation, and use query client. Use
भाई को नहीं
query
भाई
client,
ऊपर नीचे होते रहते
query client provider. All right.
सामान से पूछ।
Now, when we are initializing the query client, we are importing this query client here, and then for the client provider, we are putting this query client
वो खुद ऊपर
right
नीचे
here,
करके आया वो
right?
हमारा नसीब।
Now, we have the to-dos, and then we are okay. So when we wanna use the query, okay, so we have again the query client, right? So if I use query client, and then okay,
पूरे कर
I got
दिए।
it. So so what is
ओवर
happening
टाइम
here?
कर रहा है।
So we initialize the query client, and then we put this query client to the provider, and we want to access this query client
भाई
through this provider.
अंदर गया
We
तो
are
भाई
gonna
आईपी
use
लगाना।
use query client. I mean this hook. All right.
हाँ भाई।
So we got the query client here, and
अबे बोल
what
रहे
are we doing? What are we doing with the query client? What we're doing with the query client?
आंद्रो
Mm,
देख रहा है
use
ग्रीन स्क्रीन।
query.
पूरा स्टूडियो बना दिया भाई तुमने।
Okay, so use query is this here, right here. Query key, query function, get totals. Okay, so this is some function, and then I don't know where we are using this thing.
अबे मत देख।
Okay,
गंदा बच्चा
so
थोड़ी है।
we are doing mutation, so we are using use mutation, then mutation function is post to do. What the heck? Okay. So access the client, this, and then we're using queries for query the backend where what we're doing.
डेडिकेशन
Use
देख रहा है।
query, and we're storing the query here. I mean the data and the loading state here. And then we have the
ये देख
key is this to do's,
देखना।
and the query function is guess to do.
क्या बकचोदी कर रहा। मजा आया भाई मजा आया भाई। वन लाइक। अब गर्दन। दिस इज
ए जबरदस्ती नहीं
दिस इज सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट शांतनु।
अब मान लिया भाई अब लेकर रहेगा Okay, मत कर लाला मत
मत
कर
कर भाई।
टूट जाएगा भाई
शांतनु में बच के रहे भाई। शांतनु भाई क्रिमिनल है भाई। एआईसी में चलेगा क्या? एआईसी में चलेगा?
All right, now use
एआईसी में चलेगा बता।
query. Okay, now use mutation. Use mutation.
चल ले भाई।
So post code is a mutation
तू नहीं
function,
जाएगी?
and where it is
हम
coming
भी नहीं
from.
जाएंगे।
Okay. So
जाएगा
it's
जाएंगे।
I guess it's a server function maybe. Again
कितना
server
लंबा होता
action
है?
maybe ठीक है. On action जब होगा यहाँ पर ठीक है on success जब होगा तब अपन use कर use query
मजा तो
client ठीक
आएगा।
है.
चल देख कल बता।
Query client invalidate this query to do. Okay,
समर्थ को ले जाएगा क्या?
so that means when I query this, I am keeping the key, and this key is stored inside the query client.
अबे
All
इस
right,
पे
and when we are
मतलब हम भी लोग
mutate
सुन रहे
this,
ले
I
जाएंगे
mean
अगर जाएंगे।
when we are updating this, we are again updating this key, query key here
देखिए भाई
in the
बता
query
दे।
client. हाँ बता भाई दिख रहा ना भाई भाई तेरा सोच बहुत गंदा है भाई हम ऐसे दोस्त लोग से हम वो नहीं करते भाई
वो
दोस्ती नहीं
वो
रखते भाई
वो नहीं करता।
हम्म,
लोकेशन उठ गया
अरे,
भाई। आज मत आ भाई, आज तू गिर जाएगा।
हाँ भाई आज को मत है भाई, मतलब पॉजिटिव सजेशन है भाई ये।
आज अगर आ गया ना भाई, गिर जाएगा तू रास्ते पे। अरे बहुत भाई। पानी भाई, समुद्र इधर। अभी पता है भाई, मेरे नीचे वाले घर पे ना 4 लड़का 1 लड़की रह रहा है।
Now we have the query data and then we are mapping the to-dos. Here's the title. Pardon, and we are muted.
ठीक है
Okay,
शांतु,
so
रखते हैं
how we
भाई,
are
गुड
muted
नाइट।
this? Okay, so we got the mutation here, and then on click we are mutate this. But how we are adding this object right here? Okay, this ID and the title. Okay, how we are adding this? Okay, that's the question. How we are adding this? Use mutation. Mutation function post to do. What is this? Where to do? Uh, mutation function. Uh, post to do. Alright, now these three concept makes up most. Okay, so let me ask Chat GPT. Let me ask Chat GPT. Chat GPT. Okay. What is this? It's on click.
माइक देना मत।
How would the would the post photo looks like? कौन है ये? Get photos is this, and now post photos. Okay, alright.
लौड़ा है
This thing.
देवांशी,
ठीक है.
देवांशी इंस्टाग्राम
Post photos this. Okay.
होगी कोई मैच।
So when we're clicking this,
आ
we are
गया
adding
यार, इसको
mutation.
तो अलग ही
Mutation this. Okay, so uh, so the lot of information right here. Lot of information. What do you do now? That's it. Now we are using mutation call. Use mutation call this function when you add to do and sends the data this waits for success response and query data fetches it list. Okay, we are using Next.js server. Okay, no, that's not what I'm gonna ask. What happens when you click on the button right here? This okay. So if the
क्रिएटर 50,000 फॉलोअर है लौड़ा, हुआ होगा उसका।
function had uh, another uh, another params than the than the same than the same than the same
क्या कर रहा हूँ?
params I would give to noted exactly. Oh, so quad and use medicine presentation as a person muted. Okay. No. Your funds takes whatever parameters a person muted. Okay. So simply pass the method this API comes string post photo title user ID. Then what I do is title user ID this Right. Yes. Medicine and your medicine sort of is like this. So now when I muted this, what was this? Parents medicine pension.
अच्छा रोस्ट किया
What the heck? This meditation department. Hmm. How the parents are used here. When I call medicine title this medicine function this meditation function meditation title user ID title and user ID post title is it so the execute meditation try what the heck is it? Okay, so let me create one by one. When I call this muted meditation muted this react for receive an argument title and user ID react for receive that argument title and user ID title and user ID internally it names this argument variable okay what is sign react query receives the argument title and user ID, title and user ID okay and then internally it names the argument variables okay so the react query runs something like the under the hood this okay execute mutation function try const data is equal to await mutation function variables okay on success data variables context data variable and the context okay okay got it 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 so your mutation literally gets whatever you pass in mutate okay I got it now so inside the mutation function this title list post particle list when the reactor calls it both that those okay but here what's going on we're directly doing this Jepto so web hands worry about the red query comes with radical still take when you begin react core generally when you begin your react core generally you want to set depth your site but they help visualize all the inner workings of react core and they will likely save your hours and begin up your partners bench for example third party other so trans to core let's see okay that is cool that is cool you can see later for react native users okay tends to query tab tools then okay for next 13 app directory tools okay so we have to import it custom By default, React Core DevTools are only include abundance when programmer development. So you need to worry about the accelerating them during the production build a floating mode. Agar floating mode will mount the DevTools as a fixed floating element in our app and provide the toggle on the corner of the screen show hide DevTools. Okay. We're gonna see it later when we are gonna use it. Okay. Video talks. Okay. Who have made videos for it? GitHub had his video. Okay. Comparison. Comparison React for versus SWR versus Apollo versus RTK query versus React router. Okay. Now this comparison tables strives to be accurate and unbiased as possible. If you use any of these libraries and feel the information could be improved, feel free to suggest the changes. And with notes of the evidence claims का लफड़ा हो गया क्या?
आए
का लफड़ा हो गया? क्या क्या हुआ क्या?
पूरा पूरा एकदम
हुआ
सब
क्या?
सब इसका गांड मार रहा पता नहीं मतलब थोड़ा एटीट्यूड वाली लड़की है और
अच्छा
इसका रेगुलर सब मार मार के जा रहा समझा तो इसका पूरा गांड फट रहा है
क्या 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 बोला ये? गरिया है ना? गरिया है ये। ये स्क्रिप्टेड लग रहा है मेरे को।
स्क्रिप्ट में होगा
स्क्रिप्ट में होगा।
नहीं है मेरे
स्क्रिप्ट में होगा।
नहीं
नहीं उसको नहीं पता, वो लड़के को पता है। अब ऐसे कुछ होगा। वो भाग गया भाई। गरिया का भाग गया।
अरे वो भी गंदा रोस्ट किया वो पता है क्या बोला योर आर्म पिट्स आर मोर डार्क देन माय फ्यूचर बहुत नहीं भाई स्क्रिप्टेड नहीं
लेकिन भाई लाइमलाइट तो मिली है भाई। What the fuck? Comparison. All right, comparison React Core versus SWR. What is SWR? First, let's say this SWR.
बहुत गंदा
SWR React. SWR React. क्या बोला? कुछ तो अच्छा बोला। अरे हरियाणा से था भाई। पादे के पादे के
अबे मादर चुप पड़ा गंदा आराम ही लगेगा
ये कैसे बोला था ये? पादे के पादे के What the fuck? SWS simple focus on sharing and React query offering this, fine graining this, as a React. What is this? Triple war manual? What is this?
21 years?
हाय माय नेम इज रमन आई एम 20 इयर्स ओल्ड एंड एक ऋतिक रोशन के स्टाइल में बोलना चाहूंगा आपको कॉम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहूंगा आई मीन आप बहुत सुंदर लग रही हैं यू आर लुकिंग वेरी ब्यूटीफुल आई नो वी आर नॉट सॉफ्ट बट वी कुड मेक अ गुड पेयर
Slate, stale white, revalidate. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. Apollo, RTK, queries, RTK query. What is RTK query? Redux toolkit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now, the comparison table strives to be accurate, to be as accurate and unbiased as possible. Okay. If you use any of these libraries and fill the information could be improved, feel free to suggest and change. Okay, that's a positive point. And with notes with evidence of the claims using the edit this page and GitHub link on the bottom of the page. Feature capability key. Okay, first class, built-in, and ready to use. No edit configuration or code. Okay, all right. Supported, but as an unofficial third party or community library contribution. Supported and documented by required extra user code to implement, not officially supported or documented. Okay, now we have the React query, SWR, Apollo, RTA query, and React router. Okay, star platform. All right, all right, all right, all right. What is the comparison? Okay, so they have compared the repos, the the stars of the repos. All right. Okay. Now, supported React Questions promise, support questions promise, REST, GraphQL. Okay, okay. Almost same. Frameworks React Any, React plus others, catching, hierarchical, key value. Yep, key value. Normalize. This is. Why is React router is comparing with the React query? Oh no.
हेलो जी मेरा नाम एल्विन राजपूत है बाय द वे आप ब्लैक साड़ी में बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो और आपके लिए एक साइड है मेरे लिए कि मेरी तरह ठीक है कि फूल करनी सोनी तो कहना फूल की जरूरत है
Okay, there are a lot of things.
परियों की पर बेटे तो परियों तक खूबसूरत
Okay. API definition and location. API definition location. Component extreme config. Component GraphQL. These are pretty okay. Queries, catch persistence, dev tools, okay. Pooling, okay. Paddle queries, okay. Paginated queries, okay. Infinite queries, okay. Bidirectional, okay. Infinite queries, ref, refetching, and lag query data. Uh-huh. Selector, initial data, scroll recovery, catch manipulation, okay. Outdated query dismissal, render batching and optimization, auto garbage collection, mutation hooks, offline mutation support, prefetching APIs, query cancellation, partial query matching, stale white revalidation, stale time configuration, pre-users query mutation configuration. Okay. Window focus reflecting. Okay, there are a lot of things. Dehydration, redehydration, Offline caching. Notes. Okay, so there are a lot of things here which are with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So क्या क्या स्टार्ट से क्या बोला ये? ये क्या देख खतरनाक हो क्या ना स्टार्ट में देख खड़े का साइड में पूरा टेंशन खतरनाक लिया.
इसको पता है
क्या क्या तो बढ़िया है.
बहुत गंदा रोस्ट किया सॉरी सॉरी पर लेफ्ट देगी सर
भाई इसको टिंडर वो क्या क्या है उसको
स्पॉन्सर किया
क्या हुआ शायद हो सकता है.
क्या क्या
यस बोलो. देखिए मेरी जीभ लोग पकड़ा.
Alright, now TypeScript. Okay, React 4 is now written in TypeScript. All right, to make sure the library and our projects are type safe. Okay, so they are not going to counter any shit out of it. Okay, now things to keep in mind. Types currently required using TypeScript version 4.7 grader. Types currently required using TypeScript 4.7 grader. Okay, changes up to types to his repository to consider non-breaking and the usually released as patch. Some were changed. Otherwise, every type enhanced would be major version. Okay. Now, it is highly recommended to you that lock your React query package version to a specific patch release and upgrade with the expectation with type may be fixed and upgrade with another in release. Okay. The non-type related public API of React query still follows SIMR very strictly. Okay. Type in parens.
आपके लिए एक शायरी बोलना चाहूंगा.
Uh, type of React query generally flows through very well so that you don't have to provide the type annotation for yourself. Data use query this const data number undefined.
I am Ayan. Whenever I walk with you, it will definitely moonwalk.
So what is going on? Okay, let's open this. Okay, so we have the const data number, data undefined. Okay, 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 okay.
हो रहा है तो इसलिए क्या बोल रही है भाई सुन रहा है
Huh?
एक बार और सुनना भाई तू अच्छे से
We are going to go rest little right now. Oh moon. We are going to go rest little right.
और दो बार सुनेगा रिकॉर्ड करके भेजे व्हाट्सएप
Nah, bhai.
बुरा लगता है तेरे लिए भाई
The best way
हाँ,
to
नहीं मानते यार बुरा कौन नहीं सब तो हो रहा है मैच कोई काला दिख रहा
this work best to acquire function as well dependent on types. Keep the mind the most data fetching libraries run any per default. Okay. Any for default will make the extract on problem type function. Okay. What isn't going now? Uh, uh, this fetch group get groups then response to data.
अरे
Yep, the group are undefined. Okay. Now type narrowing. Okay, type narrowing. Okay, 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 okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So React for is discriminated union type for the query result, discriminated by the status field, and derived status boolean flags is allowed check for Example success status to make that defined. Okay, so if is success data. Okay, got it. Correct, correct, correct.
Because you have everything I will support.
Okay, so let me check it. Check it out. Check it out.
Hi sir, with myself smiling. Do you sing in
ये
short?
ये लड़का तगड़ा है
Cause I want to book tickets to join the next
Let me
concert.
check. Let me check. That is number. Okay, 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 okay. Got it. Got it. Now typing the error field. Okay.
I'm for
Now the error. Okay. Yes, graph error. String on null. What is happening here? Okay, so first one is for the data and second one for the string. Correct. Uh, so if you want to throw a customer or something that is an error, and you can specify type error field. Okay.
माधुरी दीक्षित लग रहे हो तो मैं आपका संजू बनना चाहूंगा इतनी खूबसूरत लड़की देख के दिमाग खराब हो
However,
गया
doesn't drawback of the type inference for the other data is for the use query.
looking like a cucumber
What is saying? However, this is the drawback that type inference for all other generics for the use query will not work anymore. भाई तू बाहर देख लेना उधर देख लेना भाई देखना तो उधर देख लेना लौड़े जब बकचोदी कर रहा तो सो के बकचोदी कर सकता है तो साउंड का डाला ना फिर
ओ तो मतलब खिचड़ी खाने का मन हो रहा है ना तेरे को चल भाई
generics it's generally not considered a good place to throw at something as an error. So if you have this subclass like
अबे अबे
accessor
चल भाई
or you can type error
चल सुते
current specific ठीक है यहाँ पर
क्या बोल
क्या access ले रहा अपन तो यहाँ पर error class क्या कर रहा अपन कि कुछ दे ही नहीं रहे ठीक है यहाँ पर तो यहाँ पर ये कर रहे हैं error कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर तो if access dot is error what sign that this is one of the drawback of the difference for all the other generic queues query will not work anymore. It is generally not considered a good practice to throw something that isn't an error. It is generally not considered a group good practice to throw something that isn't an error. So if you have subclass like Axios error, you can use type narrowing to make the error field more specific. Okay, so basically we are narrowing this. Okay, so what's going on here is we have the error null, and then we are checking this that Axios dotted access error, then error is access error. Okay, now registering a global error. Declare module this, declare module, then stack react query. Then this module, what is this interface? Register, and then default error is unknown.
Hi Asta, my name is Ravi. First thing आपका hair color बड़ा प्यारा लग रहा है मुझे नहीं पसंद तो
Okay,
I wish कि
so
आप
10 stack query 5 allows you to away from the set loader. Generic concept, but the attempt to register interface. Okay, register interface. This will make sure interface will still work, but the error field will be of the specific type. If you want to enforce the call side, must to explicit type narrowing, set default error to unknown. Okay, got it. Now typing the meta,
एकदम से आपको देख के
typing the meta, global meta. Okay, this then query meta is my meta, multi mutation meta is my meta. Okay, so what's on here?
नॉटी हो रहा
Okay, the similarity to the register global error type, you can register global meta type. What does what? This ensures the optional meta fields or queries and mutation stay consistent and is type safe. Note that the registered type must be action record string. Okay. So meta remains an object.
एक्चुअली आई डोंट हैव एनी
Okay.
पिकअप लाइन फॉर यू बट एक शायरी है इफ यू डोंट माइंड क्या मैं आपको काश तुम चांद होती और मैं सितारा होता चांद होती और मैं सितारा होता आसमान में एक आशियाना हमारा होता लोग देखते तुम्हें मगर दूर से पर पास आने का हक सिर्फ हमारा होता
Okay. Query option. Okay, okay, now typing query mutation keys.
Are you sure that you're not camera? Because whenever I look at you, you just make me smile.
Okay, so we can also do it here. The query keys. Okay,
Who needs pickup line when I pick you up at night? Who needs
now
pickup line
typing
when I
query
pick you up
option.
at night?
Uh, query keys. Typing query option. Okay, and if you have inline query option into queues query, you will get automatic type inference. Okay. However, you might want to extract the query option into separate function. Query option, separate function to share them
I don't
between use query
because you are so cute and you have very beautiful
and perfect query per free page query. In the case you would lose the type inference. To get back, you can use the query option helper. Query option helper. Okay. So what's going on here? ठीक है. Query option यहाँ पर है. So group options, query options, group option, return query option, key function, stale time. ठीक है. The use query group option, we call it inside this function, and then query client dot prefetch query is group query option. Okay. So what's going on here? So if you inline query option into queues query, you will get automatic type inference. However, you might want to extract the query option into separate function to share them between use query and query prefetch query. Okay, here and here. In this case, you would lose type inference. To get it back, you can use query option. Where are the query option? Okay, so this is the query option. Right.
You're so beautiful and I'm speechless right now और राइट में कर दो बहुत सारी बातें
Okay, there are a lot of things here. Typing mutation option, mutation option. Okay. Okay, so we have stale time also. Okay, here. Stale time. Got it. Query case, query function. Okay. Now important defaults. Okay. So let me let thing out here. Out of the box. Out of the box. Uh, Out of the box, stack query is configured as aggressive but sane defaults. Sometimes these defaults can catch new users off guard and make learning debugging through difficult if you're unknown by the user. Okay, so we have read this. Now keep them in the mind as you're continue to learn and use stack query. Query instance where use query. क्या बोला क्या ये बंदा?
अबे ये यार पहला बार इसको
खूबसूरती पे दो लाइन बर्फ की सिल्ली जैसे खुले में नहीं पिघलती बर्फ की सिल्ली जैसे खुले में नहीं पिघलती थोड़ा सैंड फ्रूट मारते थे बदबूदार तो मेरे टच अरे ये वहां मारना चाहिए था तेरी माँ तुझे एक ही
भाई जो शो बनाया ना भाई, मजा आता है उसको कि भाई कंटेंट मिल गया। वो बैठ चल देखना, उधर उधर देखना, वो देखो पीछे देखना, बैकग्राउंड देखना, सपाटे मार रहा है वो। What the fuck? Alright, in a query instance where use query instance where use query and use infinite query by default consider cache data as stale. By default, consider cache data as stale. Okay. So to change the behavior, you can configure your queries both globally and per query using the stale time option, specifying a longer stale time. That means queries will be not refresh their data as often. Okay, so stale time means query will not refresh the data as often. Okay, and we can put it some like numbers. A query has that stale time. A query has a stale time set to consider to refresh until the stale time has elapsed. Okay, the stale time example 2 into 60 into 1000 to make sure the data is read from the cache without triggering any kind of refetch for 2 minutes. Okay,
Oh
or
my
until the
god,
query
ये देखना,
invalidates
अबे छोड़ ना,
invalidated manually.
ये देना, बहुत तगड़ा, अनएक्सपेक्टेड,
रास्ता ऐसे मत देखो, प्यार में गिराओगी क्या? रास्ता ऐसे मत देखो, प्यार में गिराओगी क्या? चिल्लर बैकग्राउंड खाओगी क्या?
फाड़ दिया भाई।
भाई यार रोस्ट शो है कि यहाँ पर
अबे
टेंडर शो
तुमने
है।
बाप मिले शायद ये कहा तो तेरे से मिला खास कर फिर शक्ल देख के नहीं ना फिर लाग गया दस Hi Asta, I'm Nidhi. Roses are red, violets are blue. Simple and
All
Malwa
right,
cheese are
so
blue.
what is saying
अरे
without
यार
triggering?
ये भी अंदर
Roses are red, violets are blue. Simple and Malwa cheese are blue.
भाई उसका मुंह देखा भाई।
इसका ना,
Hi Asta, I'm Nidhi. Roses are red, violets are blue. Simple and Malwa cheese are blue.
बड़ा हाइट से गई भाई, बड़ा हाइट से मुंह बनाई थी भाई। हम्म।
उसको किसी को भी ऐसे बेइज्जती करेगा ना लड़की को तुम, तो खराब लगता है भाई। लड़की को पता है पटाने का ना एक सबसे बेस्ट तरीका, मतलब सबसे बेस्ट, उसका बस तारीफ कर दो, वो पड़ जाती है। तारीफ कर देगा ना, मैक्सिमम लड़की पड़ जाएंगी। तो मतलब ऐसा तारीफ करो ना एंड की करे ना उसका कोई आज तक, हमें चूत ऐसे
छूज दो।
एकदम
चल ठीक है, हो गया,
लड़की का
खत्म
कुछ
खत्म।
भी नहीं होता ना भाई।
सो
आज
नाउ,
लाइव स्ट्रीम पे,
हाँ भाई।
अरे यार ज्ञान ज्ञान का भोसड़ी।
Set stale time example here, 2 minutes until query client query the queries in read manually the stale time in print never to पैण की दी ने भाई,
अरे
ये उसका दोस्त था भाई, भाई है। सगा, सगा भाई भाई, सो गांड पे लग गया। Set stale time in print would never trigger a refetch until the query is in read manually, ठीक है। ओके 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 ओके, सो ये इनफाइनाइटली टाइम के लिए ये कैच हो जाएगा, ठीक है। इज इट? नो 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 नो, still time is infinity to never trigger the refetch until a query is in, okay. So we can update it, so till we update it, it will not be refaced. Okay, and if the still time is static, the never trigger the refetch even if a query is invalidate manually. Okay, so let's see invalidate manually about this. Okay, query invalidation, waiting for the queries to become stale, waiting for the queries to become stale before they are refaced again does not always work, especially when you know the fact that the query's data is out of date because of some of the users has done. For that purpose, the query client has an invalidate queries method and lets you intelligently mark query as a stale and potentially rephrase them too. Okay, so invalidate query, then client query invalid query try to get no. Note: where other libraries use the normalized cache use attempt to update the local queries with the new write earlier, either imperatively or via scheme interference. TanStack query gives you tools to avoid the manual labor that comes with maintaining normalized coaches and instead prescribe target invalidation and background refetching and ultimately atomic updates. Okay, so when a query is invalidated with the invalid queries, two things happen. It marked as a stale, okay, and the stale state overrides any stale time configuration being used in use query and related hooks, okay. And if the query is currently being if if the query is currently being rendered via use query if the query is currently being rendered via use query if the query is currently being rendered by use query or related hooks, it will also be refreshed in the background. If the query is currently being so when the query is embedded with to happen, first marked as stale, this stale state overrides initial time and the configuration being used in use query or related hooks. Okay. Okay. Second thing, if the query is currently being rendered, query is being rendered, use query or related hooks also be refaced. Related hooks, it will also be refaced in the background. Okay. So query matching with invalid query. When using APIs like invalid queries and remove queries, when using APIs like invalid queries and remove queries and other support partially query matching, you can match multiple queries by their prefix or get really specific and match an exact query. For information on the types filters, you can use please see query filters. Okay, let's say it. Query filters. The query filters is an object that certain condition are matched in the query with. Okay. So await query client, cancel queries, cancel all queries, remove all inactive queries that begins with post. Client remove queries, query key, post, type inactive. ठीक है? क्या बोल रहा है यहाँ पर remove all inactive queries, remove all inactive queries that begin with post. ठीक है? Refetch all active queries, refetch all active query. Refetch queries. Refetch queries. Query client refetch queries. Query function. Refetch all active queries that begins with post. अच्छा remove. Refetch query. Okay.
भाई सुना तेरी ऐसी बात है ना, तो एक साल के लिए अंडरग्राउंड हो जा ताकि अगले साल तेरे को दशहरा में दहन ना करूं। भाई तुझे रोस्ट करने का मन भी नहीं कर रहा, तुझे रोस्ट करके ना मैं अपने आप को सेल्फ हार्म करूंगा, इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि तू अच्छा रोस्ट कर रहा है, बल्कि इसलिए तुझे रोस्ट करके मेरा टाइम वेस्ट होगा। हाँ चल चल भाई बढ़िया है, क्या बोलती बंद होगी क्या, क्या वो लाइट बंद कर पाऊंगा भाई, चल भाई टाइम इस रोस्ट का क्लियर विनर है भाई। नहीं भाई ऑलराइट नेक्स्ट टू
ठीक है. Okay, so let it be here. कहाँ पर हैं हम लोग? Docs frameworks where we are. Core invalidation, ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं अपन? एक यहाँ पे ये दिक्कत है यहाँ पर कि भाई ये जो यहाँ पर मेरा है यहाँ पर, ठीक है. What the heck?
बस भाई बढ़िया तू बस बाहर चले
निगाह पड़ी.
बस भाई बढ़िया तू बस पूछते कौन सा चलाते हो मोटरोला की जगह बोलते मोटा और भाई उन्हें भी कनेक्ट करके मेरे पास मैसेज आया फिर आगे बोलते भाई मेरे को फंड चाहिए मैंने स्पेलिंग करेक्ट कर दी फंड नहीं तुझे ये चाहिए तो एक बार पता कर अब तू बोल दे मेरे को सेटिंग में तो वो भी नहीं होगी भाई इतने तेरी उम्र है जितनी रह चुकी है ब्रो बोला था जितनी मेरी उम्र नहीं उतनी मेरी कमर है तो मेरी कमर है मेरी उम्र नहीं उतनी मेरी कमर है तो मेरी कमर है जितने तक रहते ना जो पापा ने थोड़े पता चलता मैं वही तो कह रहा हूं इतने घूम रहे अरे भाई भाई नंबर ले तू वहां पे जा जहाँ पे लिखा रहता है सोमवार में गुरुवार में गुप्त रोगी गुप्त रोगी गुप्त रोगी गुप्त रोगी सोमवार में रविवार मिले शनिवार ठीक है सोमवार शनिवार मिलेंगे भाई के परिवार एक चीज और भाई तेरे सब बारे में बोलना चाहूंगा वो ये मेरे भाई जितना तेरा खून
Okay, alright. Query basics, unique query. Returns promise and result not taken. Where we are now? Query function. Just query this. Okay, so query function is the second argument. And okay, let's move here. Okay, now let's start the test here. Okay, so we got an error. We got some error, man.
देखा ये लड़की लोगों ना कभी मसल वाला बंदा पसंद नहीं होता. पॉइंट टू बी नोटेड.
Cannot type
आइंस्टाइन का ऑडियो बंद करना यार ये तो ज्ञान लीक हो जा रहा है.
typer cannot record us. क्या कर रहा है अपन?
तू बोल क्या कर सकता बता
Okay, I got it. Where is this server trpc index.tx? Now routers API index.tx. Here's the problem. Base. Okay, so there is nothing in your base. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're gonna go to this place, and then we have this server index, and then we have the base file. Okay. Okay, wait. TRPC base and then TRPC index. Okay. So the public router is here. Okay, const here. Okay, now base. There's no base here. All right. So create a router instance. Mm, TRPC, we have it. We have it. Now server index is this here. So the public procedure and router is there. Public procedure and router.
All right, takes two के बाद इन 5 लड़कों में से जिसको भी लड़की से रोक मिलेगा वो होगा वीडियो का विनर और चाइनीज समृद्धि
The index is the main point. So we have to create the TRPC, right? Here, create the TRPC client first. Then we are gonna this. Okay. Index here. Context. And also we're gonna use the context too. Correct. Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that?
और गाइस अगर आपने भी
Okay, we have it.
रियल लाइफ वीडियो का पार्ट 1 नहीं देखा तो यहाँ पे टैप करके आप देख सकते हो
नहीं और टाइम वेस्ट किए बे मजा
Okay.
बेबी तो
Well, let me check. Because since we are doing this in server action, so we have to like set everything. Okay, no. We have to initialize the what should initialize? Return rate limiting, wrapping up. No. It was in there, I guess. Was in there. Okay, we have to set this protected actions. Okay, now, uh, okay, let me copy this, paste it here. Current user, it's not from this. We have to in this context. Where TRPC context. TRPC context. The heck? Let me check the GitHub. Mm, TRPC context. Copy it real quick. On here. TRPC error. Remove this one. Type context. I have this, but this time we have the context right here. Correct. Context. And what is doing with the auth? Current user, right? Okay, so how I was doing is I'm initializing the TRPC with context, this, hmm and then I have the router, public router, protected router, returning the next context, is this, and protected I'm returning the next. Okay, okay, what is going on here? We're creating with the meta, then server action procedure, experimental call is this, then we are use ops cons this. Okay, so they are doing this context in here. Okay, okay, yep, yep, and then the protected action. Mhm. Okay, so what are we gonna do?
यूं क्यों खड़ी है बातें के गाने मारते हैं
Instrumental call of next
अब ऐसे
so meta
कैमरा खोल के टेढ़े खाएगा
meta is meta
नहीं खाएगा हम जा रहे थे सोने
path extractor
खाने थोड़ी बर्बाद
path के
करें
meta
खड़ी है
meta
बातें के वाह खत्म भाई खतरनाक है
um
और बताओ
so this TRPC is used.
अपना पढ़ाई का टाइम नहीं मिल
TRPC meta
रहा
meta.
चलो ये भी कर दिया
Okay, so what saying that let's start off by installing the TRPC, defining the base server action procedure, defining our base server action procedure, and we'll use the experimental caller method on the procedure building, which is a new method that allows you to customize the way that the procedure is called when it's invoked as a function, and we will also use the adapter experimental next app tier caller to make it compatible with the Next.js. This adapter will handle cases where the server action is wrapped in use action state. Server action is wrapped in use action state on the client. Changes the call signature of the server action. Okay, we'll also be using the span properties of metadata since metadata. Okay, let me check what is metadata right now. Okay, so what is it? Procedure metadata allows you to add optional procedures, specific meta properties, which also are middleware. Okay, user enter the type is open AI, they want to expose REST computer. Create router with typed metadata. Example for per route authentication setting. Example with per route. Okay. So the context and the meta also. Yep, got it, sir. I got it. I got it, sir. I got it. I got it. I got it, sir. I got it, sir. That is what I needed. dot context. We have to call the context also. And what is the context? It's the TR-PC context. All right, motherfuckers. Get off. Router. Get the hell out of here, I guess. No, no, no. Paste. Router. Public procedure. Yep, I need it. Introduction. Paste. Server action procedure. TR procedure experimental. Call this. Okay, so we have to check this in mind. Okay. Okay. Span string, metadata, span string, auth required. So what's going here? Auth required boolean, and then these are the opts. Auth procedure, app router. So app router is here. This. Hello, protected hello. Got it, sir. Got it. I got it. I got it. So if I add a metadata here, then I would also add here auth required as boolean. Okay. Now what I do here is I can use this metadata. While doing this thing here. Okay. So the protected this here. So I guess same as this. The option opts. Okay, the option opts is there. There is next also. So what I'm doing here, throw new unauthorized, okay, correct. And now what I'm doing here, and this protected this here, we're gonna do a server action procedure. That means what's going on here? Auth procedure. Let's make an auth procedure. Auth procedure. That's an auth procedure. Export const procedure. That is a t dot procedure dot use async. We have the options. We have the options, and then we are destructuring the meta. And what is this? Next, and the context. Context is equals to opts. Okay. Now what we're checking is if meta dot is auth required and what is saying if meta auth required this true, and okay, and if context dot user is not there, then we have to throw an error. Throw new error that is unauthorized. Authorized. That is cool. That is cool. And else we return the next after this. Now what is saying that argument type ops context user is an administrator type code mutation session path. What the heck? What do we have in this type trpc context? Okay. trpc username. Okay. Okay. It's a trpc or not a trpc. It's a code. Here we are using the procedure use. We're using this middleware. Okay, so this is okay. Async, then context, and then next. Why is this? I was saying this was good. Async context next this. Let me import this one code. Side here. The heck. This is good. This is good. This is good. What the heck? Just the meta next and context field. Okay. But what's the problem here? It's in the argument type ops context user username, and it's a null. Query type query type is query maybe. What was this kind from? Okay, that's why. Okay, so in here we are returning the context. Okay, okay. The fuck, the fuck, the fuck, the fuck. Okay, cool. Auth procedure, right? Procedure. Okay. Now the server action procedures T procedure, experimental core, then the path extractor. This meta is this. So what's going on here? What's going on here? Let's see. Let's go on here. Metadata. Go backward here. It says next we'll add the context since we want to be no, not here. In here. What they're saying is that okay, let's try it from start. Let's start off by initializing the TRPC and defining our base server action procedure. We will use the experimental caller method on the procedure builder. Okay, experimental caller, which is a new method to and allow you to customize the way that procedure is called when it's invoked as a function. And this we will also use the adapter experimental next app directory caller to make it compatible with Next.js. This adapter handles the case server action wrapped in server action is wrapped in use action state on the client, okay, which changes the call signature for the server action. Now we will also use the span properties as metadata since there is no ordinary path like when you use router or user ID, for example. You can use the span provider to differentiate procedure, for example, during the logging or observability. Okay, what is saying this as this path extractor. Let's learn some context. No, boy. I did not understand this part. What is doing path extractor? Okay, let's check it here. The fuck? What the fuck is going on? Okay, let me do this. Meta. Okay. Meta this. Okay, so there is no type. It is not okay. Meta as meta. Meta. Now. Yup, that's is correct. That's correct. That's correct. And as well. No. For remove this string. This is path extractor meta dot span. That's it. That's it. But in my case, I don't know what's happening here. I want to pass extractor meta, and this is kind of meta string, return string. Okay. Mhm. Mm, so what's in this? Defined, and this normalized from data, boolean undefined, promise. Okay, so as I was using this, some, oh wait, I guess. There's no it here. Okay, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, but um, I see one thing that if I'm doing, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. What the heck? I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Where is it? Hmm, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I cannot move my cursor. Was it? Where is it? Where it is? Where it is? Where it is? Virtual core, and a virtual core keyboard, core pointer. Where is my mouse? Touchpad. Okay, the virtual core pointer. The mouse is ID 11. Touchpad of 11. Okay. X input. All right. Here we go. Still. So first I would disable it. Oops. DISA. Disable it. Then enable it. Okay. Now it's working. So okay. So one thing I just see that as I'm doing this, so this is basically assessment. So and like as a part of it, I'm learning it. It's code, but um, as I'm doing it for the assessment, so I have to do it fast because the timeline is very short. So And from next time I will do it from cursor. All right. Thanks. Good night. Bye bye.